like your armpit is smelling, you don't bath. Like, who would you attract? If you're a lady and you're looking to be married sooner or later, then you need to watch this. Before I got married, I used to pray to God about the kind of husband that I wanted. I had my list, and I had things that I was like very intentional about, like, this is a red flag. If you don't have this, I don't like you. If you don't have this, I'm not going to compromise on my standards. And then one day I was like praying and then talking to the Holy Spirit about all this, and then the Holy Spirit asked me, so if this is your checklist and you want a man of God, then what are you doing to also attract that man of God? I was like, yeah, I need to look at that. So then I started working on myself. I studied the book of Ruth, not because I'm called Ruth, but I wanted to learn how Ruth was able to attract Boaz. And one of the things that stood out to me was her humility. No man would want to marry a lady who is very, very rebellious. You might be pretty, you might be intelligent, you might be everything, but men are attracted to humility. When Boaz saw Ruth in that field, he was thinking, who is this? And they told him, this is the lady who had come back from Moab with Naomi. And I'm sure he might be wondering, why would a Moabite come and work as like a slave girl or a servant in my field? And I am sure that particular instance, he was like, something is going on. So if you are a lady and you want to be married one day, you want to have a home, you want to raise godly children, and you are very, very proud, you are very arrogant, even in the way you talk, even in the way you address yourself, even in the way you address others, even in the way you speak to people, even strangers, in the way you speak to people at church, at your workplace, then trust me, you might get married, but maybe that marriage might not be as you want, as a blessing from God. Yes. The second thing that I want to talk about is hard work. Fortunately for me, just like Ruth, I found my husband when I was working. I remember I had gone for a shift and I was so tired, and then a colleague called me. She needed somebody to just work for them. I had gone for a night shift and I had just closed, and I slept for about 4 or 5 hours and had to wake up again, cook up something, go back to fill in that shift for that colleague. And when my husband saw me, I was actually like working. Somebody needed help and I was actually trying to get things sorted out, and I was very busy working. Irrespective of that, before I met my husband, I was doing 3 jobs, I was working hard, I was schooling, I was doing so many things. I was very hard working. I was not there sitting, relaxing for somebody to come and take care of me, for somebody to come and shower me with gifts, come and pay my fees, come and buy credit for me, come and do this for me. No, I was working hard, thinking about myself and praying that God would shine his favor on me and let me find my Boaz. And that was my prayer, and that was me working hard and doing what I had to do. And my husband saw me in that position, and he was attracted to somebody who was hardworking. Same as Boaz was attracted to Ruth, because she was tilling the ground, she was helping the people in the field harvest, she was doing something. The fact that she had come from Moab did not mean she had to come and sit down, keep mourning. What will you eat? What will your mother-in-law eat? Your old mother-in-law. She went ahead and said, okay, mom-in-law, let me go out there and find something for us to eat. And she was so hardworking. She went there and she didn't fold her arms. She actually started working as though she had already been part of that field, and that attracted her to Boaz. The last thing that I want to say is that you have to be attractive. Work on yourself. In as much as you are having your list, in as much as you are praying, in as much as you are doing what you have to do. Before I met my husband, I actually attended like sewing classes. I had actually started working on myself, not specifically to attract somebody, but I actually started walking, eating well, staying healthy, trying to look confident, not for anybody, but just for myself as well. You can't expect to be dressed like somebody who is, excuse me to say, like, I don't even know what to say. You don't expect to be dressed like that and attract a man of God. You don't expect to be dressed immodestly. You don't expect to be dressed anyhow and attract somebody who has value or somebody who is like very godly. In as much as godly men also want women who are like very, very modest. You don't have to like dress anyhow. You don't have to treat yourself anyhow. Like, you don't bath, your armpit is smelling, your mouth is smelling. That is like a red flag. I'm sure by the time you open your mouth and you're like, oh, hello, the person will just like go away. You need to take good care of yourself, not for somebody, but for your own self, to build your own confidence, so that when you step out there, you'd be able to attract who you have to attract, because you attract who you are. You do not expect to be dressed anyhow. And this goes to the men as well. You do not expect to attract a godly woman if you are dressed anyhow, like your armpit is smelling, you don't bath. Like, who would you attract? The fact that you are praying is not enough. You need to be hardworking. You need to take good care of yourself. You need to even learn tips, because marriage itself is hard work. Marriage itself is like a lot of effort coming together. And if you have kids, like, that's another level. So please and please and please, again, it's not all about prayers. Please and please, watch out, pray, work hard, and take good care of yourselves. Especially my ladies, take good care of yourselves so you can attract that man, and the men too. Take good care of yourselves. You want men who smell nice. We don't want men who smell anyhow. Men who do not bath as well. But please, this is very serious. If you want to attract, remember, you attract who you are. So you need to work on yourself. In as much as you want somebody good to marry, you need to be also good for the person to marry you. And so if you have your own list, if you are looking up to God to be married, please try as much as possible to work on yourself, pray, be hardworking, and let God do the rest.